first thing you'll notice is a bunch of nodes sitting here. The node that we want to focus on is other actor. And this is where blueprint communication comes in. We don't want to talk to just any actor, because if this actor was a physics object and it was bouncing around the level, you could have hundreds, potentially even thousands of actors communicating with each other. And every time that trigger happens, you don't want this script firing. What you want is a very specific type of actor singled out. And this is where casting comes in. Right-click on the event graph and type in cast to hero. If you have hero in the title of your character, then you should get this, even if you haven't included the B underscore, or if you've named your character something else, then type in that name here. We want cast to be hero. Now, what this is going to do is ask the actor that has overlapped this box, are you a hero actor? So drag other actor and connect that into object. And then we go. Make sure the executable is connected as well. If something comes into contact with this box that is a hero actor, such as the character we're controlling or a multiplayer game with multiple heroes, so long as we are of the same actor class here, then this will fire as true and we can then move on and continue firing code. This eliminates any other actors accidentally triggering this code. Casting now allows us to access any variable or component inside of the character that has overlapped. So when I drag off this node here, now I am attempting to communicate with my specific character that has overlapped this box. And if I was to let go of that and type in, say, something like health, then you can see health right there. And I can get health or set health. In the case of a health pack, I can now set health to whatever I want it to be. Let's say 100. And then once we've done that, health packs won't last forever. So the next node is built into every actor and can be called from any of them. Right click and type in destroy actor. And there we go. So this sequence of events should fire once our hero character crosses over into that trigger box. Are we the hero character? If we are, set health to 100 and destroy the actor. We're going to compile and save. And just before I forget, let's type in print string and we will plug this in here. So we get a little hello signaling to us that we have in fact crossed over into this box and the script has fired. Another thing you could do is plug in health into that print string, just like that. Move that out of the way. And now we'll be able to see our health. Hit compile and save, back over to the level. And when we hit play, our health pack will fall to the ground. And when we trigger that box, our health will be set to 100 and the box will disappear. So there is our very, very, very simple health pack. But we're not going to leave this so simple. What we're going to do is add a whole bunch of script, which might seem daunting at first, but we're going to do it in parts. And we're going to make this a very robust and somewhat foolproof health pack. Let's pop back over to our resources. And I notice now that this should probably be in the blueprints folder. So if you ever need to move a folder, you can drag and drop it just as you would. We're going to hit move here. And there we go. Now resources, because our resources will strictly be blueprints, otherwise we can't use them, it makes sense for them to be in the blueprints folder. Double click on resources, hit F2, and type in resource underscore base. That's right. We are going to create a parent class for all the code that we have in common. Every single resource we have will have a static mesh and a box trigger. And one thing we're going to do in every single resource is do the casting ahead of time. So the way we're going to do that is by moving this casting node, holding Alt and clicking on any connection point, we'll disconnect it. We're going to move this casting node up here, and I'm going to show you another way that you could use it. Plug in your event begin play into cast to B underscore hero. And this time we're going to get another object reference. We're going to right click and type in get player character. This is another pre-built node which will get whatever character we are controlling at the time of this creation. Thus, if we are controlling our player character, this will directly reference it. Drag and drop that pin onto object. We're going to right click on as B hero and promote this to a variable. We're going to call this variable hero reference. So now we don't have to do the casting for every single resource. Every single resource will do it at the parent level, meaning that all we have to do is use our hero reference variable. So let's grab this script here, hold Control, press X. We'll also get rid of this here because we're going to call that inside of our child actor. So we'll delete that. Back on the level, right click on resource underscore base and create a child blueprint class. We're going to call this one resource underscore health pack. And also while we're at it, let's remove the base from our level and drag and drop in the health pack. Let's save everything before we get into the next one. And now we'll close the resource base and open up our health pack, which comes with our own predetermined scripts, such as that casting we just created. So now that we're in the new blueprint, we're going to get rid of event tick and event actor begin overlap. We're going to hold Control and press V and paste in our script. Copying and pasting script can get a bit complicated sometimes because not all nodes will instantly work with another blueprint. But in this case, print strings and destroy actors will work just fine. That hero reference won't appear on the left in our variables, as you may remember from a previous video. But if I right click and type in hero reference, get hero reference, then there we are. We can plug that hero reference in right there. Let's talk to this instance of our box trigger. Right click, add event on component begin overlap. There is a chance that you could have copied this over and it would work just fine, but I try not to risk it. Again, some nodes won't always work this way. And now there's one more extra bit of script we're going to add. As you remember, we need to check that this is our hero. So to do that, drag off other actor and type in an equal sign twice. And now we're going to use our hero reference. We can select that, copy and paste it, and plug that in here. And we're going to use a branch by holding B and clicking to plug that in, remembering to plug the executable in. So now we're asking the same question, only we're doing it slightly more efficiently because we have already done the casting. We don't need to cast every single time. Selecting the nodes I want, I can press Q and that will straighten them all up. So once again, is this our hero character? If it is, then set his health to 100 and destroy the actor. Let's compile and save and check that this script is working as intended. Hit play, walk ahead, our health is set to 100 and the health pack disappears, meaning that our casting is working, our reference is being captured, and our health pack is receiving that script. So let's add a little more complexity to this health pack while we're at it. The next thing we need to do is check to see if our hero reference isn't already at 100 health, because if you may have noticed, our health is already 100. We're setting health at 100 to health at 100 again. Let's grab our hero reference again. I could use the same one as last time, but I prefer to use different references when I can because it makes this a whole lot neater, and you'll see why as we get more complicated. Drag our hero reference up here. And we need to get health. Here we're going to drag off health and type in equals twice. We're going to check if our health is equal to 100. Now, one thing that is common amongst experienced Unreal developers is that they will often try to ensure that when using a branch, true is always the primary script. So if I was to plug this in now, using this here, plug that there and that over there. If I was to plug this in now, technically the answer to this question would need to be false, because what I'm trying to find out is my health equal to 100? If it is equal to 100, we don't want to do anything, which means we'd be using the false node here. But as I just said, we want to use true for our primary script. You can have 2 long lines of script set up here, but true is always the better option, especially if you only have 1, because we're not going to do anything if we have 100 health. There are 2 ways we can go about this. Firstly, we can add another Boolean node called not. Drag off the red Boolean and type in not. So now we can ask the opposite of this question. So is our health not equal to 100? And if it isn't equal to 100, then we fire off the script, which is great. However, there's another way to do it. And this is where it comes down to your own personal taste, because both of these will work exactly the same. It's just a matter of how the logic plays out in your head and what makes more sense for you later on down the track. Another way we can do this is to drag off health and type in an exclamation mark and an equal sign. This is a not equal node. So this will check that the values are not equal. This eliminates the need for our not Boolean here, which also results in a slightly cleaner script. However, I would suggest the third option. If we drag off health and we type in, hold shift and press the key next to M, and we will get a lesser than. Lesser than would do the exact same thing for us. We want to know if our health is less than 100. Meaning that if it isn't less than 100, that would be false and we would do nothing. But if it is less than 100, that would be true. So here are 3 ways you could approach the same script. We're going to use the last one. We're going to hit delete on these, drag this up, plug that in, and there we go. That's pretty good. Compile and save. And now only if our health is less than 100 will we get to pick up the health pack. Hit play, and if you kept that troubleshooting script from earlier, then you can hit the H key to subtract your health, and then we can walk up to the health pack and pick it up. The other example, I'm going to press escape, hit play again. This time I'm not going to touch my health. I'm going to walk into the health pack, and it's not going to do anything because the answer to that question is false.